name for 44 days that gets to eat.
Eat what? Eat what?
Eat us.
Hey guys, it's Brittany and I'm here at the Schoolhouse Shores Museum in Port Perry. Now some of these buildings are original to the property and others have been moved here, such as behind me, the Lee House, which is probably the most active for the paranormal. So there's a barn right here, there's the Lee House, there's a church which is right down there, there's log cabins, there's a schoolhouse. So right behind me is the building that I am the most excited about. This is known as the Lee House. Well, it's not just known, it is the Lee House. This is where majority of paranormal activity happens. Now this house was built in 1865 and it was moved here to the Schoolhouse Shores Museum in 1972. So it is haunted by Mrs. Lee. So let's make our way inside so you guys can see. And I just want to say this house gives me low-key Villisca Axe Murder House vibes. If you have not seen that playlist, that investigation, I will link it up above so you guys can see. But this is the Lee House. Now, this right here is a picture of Mrs. Lee, and people have seen her through the windows. Now, the thing with this house is, which I'm a little worried about because I actually forgot my Advil, but you will feel a lot of emotions. People get very emotional in this house. They'll get a headache, specifically on the right side of their head, and their headache gets worse and worse, especially when they go upstairs. It gets worse. But as soon as people leave this house, the headache is completely gone. Many people have reported feeling lightheaded in this house. So this house really drains your energy. And oh, people also will feel like they've been slit open, like cut open. It's really weird, but this is the house, so. I also saw that somebody caught a very crazy EVP in this house of somebody saying no. They were asking, does anyone want to talk to me? And they heard a voice saying, no! I swear to God, it was on YouTube. It wasn't in the video that I showed you. There was another investigation that we watched prior to coming here. But there was this other ghost paranormal group that came in. Yeah, and someone said, does anyone want to talk to me? And you hear a voice say, no!
Sounds like you.
I know, it does. So now we're gonna go upstairs, and this reminds me of the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Watch your head.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Just give me 1 second.
I feel like we're in the attic of not Eastern State. I feel like we're in the attic of Villisca. I got Eastern State on the mind, y'all. Okay, so this is really creepy. There's a rocking horse in here. Mrs. Lee, sorry.
Too tall for this room.
Look at me, and I'm 5'6". Oh, there's a creepy mirror. Oh, Mrs. Lee is the main spirit in this house. And right now, you know, it is after 6. I don't feel lightheaded. I don't have a headache. And I hope that doesn't happen. Actually, maybe I do kind of hope it happens, but there's a lot of emotions people feel when they come through. So there's probably kids in here too. So right now we are behind the Lee House, and I wanted to point this out. This window right here is the window where Mrs. Lee has been seen. So when you're out here, whoo, I just got chills. They say in broad daylight. Did you hear me? Broad daylight. Because I always say paranormal activity does not just happen at night, even though we're going to be here at night. I mean, it is the evening. Just waiting for the sun to come down from dusk until dawn. Las Vegas Haunted Museum. One story in particular, there was a staff member that was out here. This was in the morning, by the way. She looked at the window and she saw Mrs. Lee. She saw a woman in a black dress, her hair in a bun. She had this necklace on and she knew it was Mrs. Lee. Who the heck is wearing a black dress at this museum? Who's doing that? So I think we should come around this window a lot. I mean, right now I just see my reflection and I probably look terrifying because I look like a giant pumpkin. Jonathan's been showing me some of the footage. I'm like, I look like a pumpkin.
You see my silhouette? I look like the great pumpkin from Charlie Brown.
So that is the Lee House. I guess we'll make our way to the barn now. So you guys know that my theme is Jeepers Creepers this year, so there's a cornfield like right over there, so I feel like Derry's gonna be like every 23rd spring for 23 days he gets to eat, and then Minxie's like, eat what? Eat what? Eat us. That's probably my intro. But look, we're at a barn. And this is supposed to be haunted as well by two men. There's a lot of voices people hear when they're standing outside of the barn, and the voices are coming from the inside. And it reminds me of Jeepers Creepers. Remember when they have the creeper hanging up in the barn at the end and it says the bat from hell? That's what it reminds me of. Now, unfortunately, the creeper's not there. but he might be, like, who knows? Now, Jonathan pointed this out earlier. This cart up here is, a psychic came in here and she picked up on a woman that haunts up here. Like, there's something with that cart. The cart says Derry. Like Derry Jenner from Jeepers Creepers. I mean, it doesn't actually say Derry Jenner, and it's dairy, you know, such as like dairy, eaten, consuming. Dairy, because dairy from Jeepers Creepers, it's D-A-R-R-Y, but that's dairy, D-A-I-R-Y, so I don't know. Jonathan pointed that out, and I thought that was interesting.
Just so you know, I kind of have it a bit now, but no.
Oh, your head?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
Even being out here a little bit, it was a little worse in there.
Great, I didn't bring my Advil. I keep thinking I see somebody.
I don't take Advil, so don't.
Oh, okay. I didn't bring it because I didn't want myself to be like, oh, I'm all worried, because you know how I'm scared to go to haunted places now because I don't want to feel sick. That's what I mentioned in my last video.
I don't blame you.
Because you know how I felt like crap at showing him.
But I felt that just a little bit. It wasn't like horrible, but
in the Lee house?
In the Lee house, yeah. When the more we were coming downstairs, I felt it.
Okay.
It's more just here.
On your eye?
More on the brow.
It's not from the sun though, is it? You know how we've been squinting? I don't know. So now we are making our way over to the church, which is original to the property. It was built in 1860, and over here is the cemetery. It's just so creepy how the church is like, it's the furthest building, but I'm excited. I just want to get all my daytime shots so everyone sees what it looks like. But the cemetery, and there's a cornfield. Look, it's dairy. Every 23rd spring for 23 days, it gets to eat. Eat what? Eat what? Eat us. I think that's gonna be my intro, Jordan. Okay, guys. This is the church. There's a lot of paranormal activity in here. But I think the Lee house and the church are probably the same. This part of the church was built on, like, it's pretty new.
It's all like nice and
it's different in here. But over here, this is the original church. Now, Jonathan and I have always wanted to investigate a church. It's weird, like how it's all happening. It's like a barn, a house, a church. There is a lot of emotion that happens in this church as well. People start crying in this church. People hear women crying. So you'll be in here by yourself and you will hear the sound of women crying and sighing. That's probably like the scariest thing ever, but I'm living. I hope it happens to me tonight.
And you're a Cancer, so you're probably the most emotional. I'm like,
now back here, back in the day, this is where, for the funerals, the caskets were all kept. So, I mean, it feels eerie in here. And a lot of the sighing and the crying, you will hear it back here. Oh. So can you imagine being in here? Now, Jonathan and I are gonna be splitting up when it's nighttime. We're gonna be covering, like, I'll be at the Lee house first, he'll be in the church, and then we'll swap and we'll see, like, we'll text each other when, you know.
Sounds good.
And then I think we'll go to the barn because it's gonna be, and there's also the schoolhouse. Oh, and then I guess you will. Oh my God, 44. Don't. Y'all, is it filming?
Yeah.
Y'all, 44. And my other number. Oh my God. Oh, 47. I'm like, where did it go? So there's people. There's a lot of children. We're actually gonna go downstairs. We just got access to that. There's apparently a groundskeeper down there. There's like a negative spirit down there. But a lot of people pick up. There's voices. There's a lot of banging from every single building we've been to. There's a lot of banging going on. So let's go downstairs now, shall we? Oh, this is creepy. Oh, the shovel. Oh my God. Oh, maybe we should turn on the light. Or else turn it on. All right.
I feel like we're in Alex's basement.
Alex, we're seeing you next week. If he watches, he's gonna be like, what the heck? Oh, what in the heck?
Yeah. Maybe
This
a
is
little
creepy.
careful because there's just some stuff in
Alright, well apparently there's a negative spirit down here, a negative energy, so I guess we'll see. Alright.
Guess you and I can team up on this part.
Yeah, we'll come down together for this. That's creepy. I like the shovel. Ooh, what's in here? And we were just told, they say if you play this certain classical song called Beautiful Dreamer upstairs in the schoolhouse, it will make the children's spirits dance. You'll hear their footsteps and like dancing around. So the only thing is copyright. Because originally before we came here, I said, I'm just gonna go on epidemicsound.com and play royalty-free classical music. So I don't know how we're gonna do that with the Beautiful Dreamer song. So we'll see, but that's apparently what happens.
Can you imagine if you went to like Michael Jackson's home and he like haunted it?
Oh.
You play all his music and he'd come.
What are you talking about, Michael Jackson?
Well, like no, it's just it's
100
music
Carroll
where, like,
Drive, by the way.
You see, he plays Speed Demons.
So we're now splitting up. So I'm gonna be.
Just realized, should we have on there that says wear a mask? You know
But
what?
it's just the two of us.
Okay,
There's
that's
nobody
fine.
here, but. So I'm in the Lee house by myself, and Jonathan is making his way to the church. And we're gonna see what happens, and then I'm also filming a paranormal game that is already uploaded on my channel, so link up above if you want to see it. And then we're gonna switch. We're gonna come back in here, and then we're gonna go to the.
Do you want me just to join you here later on after you're done what you're doing here?
We'll text each other or tell you. So, all right.
All right, have fun.
I know it's
The
creepy.
Great Pumpkin.
I know. It's an XL. So I wanted it to be like oversized and long, but it still doesn't even like
I'm
cover.
freezing. Oh, at least we're in style. Okay.
know.
Well, hope
Good
I
luck.
can watch the cat. Yeah, I don't know.
I know, there's a cat that keeps coming in. Oh my god. Well, let me just turn on my light. Okay, there we go, because I can't see.
All right, bye. Have fun.
Bye. So yeah, the church is that way.
I know. I was there earlier. With you.
Oh, okay.
I filmed everything for you.
Oh, bye.
But
Oh my god. Oh. Oh god. Hello? Is there anybody here that wants to communicate with me? Mrs. Lee?